Thank Fitness It's Friday.
And welcome back to us right here, Dan Koh and Neil Humphreys on the Friday Night Live. Yeah, we are just... I know I'm really very excited for today's segment because we're diving straight into our Thank Fitness It's Friday segment. And for today, I'm a little bit excited because, when it comes to fitness, I don't like to give up my favorite food, from the likes of prawn mee, char kway teow, carrot cake, all the fatty food, right? But you know what they say, you gotta eat in moderation or just cut it entirely. But our next guest says, maybe you just don't have to sacrifice too much of it. And maybe you get to enjoy the goodness of life that it offers to us. Introducing to us, or to you, Preston Sin, the founder of the PressOnProject. He's an expert in health and fitness with close to a decade of experience working with international speakers, published authors, entrepreneurs, and top executives in Asia. In fact, he started off by documenting his journey on social media, and that's how he got to inspire tons and tons of people out there. So without further ado, let's welcome on the show, Preston Sin. Hello, Preston. How are you doing this evening?
Very good, and thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
All right, Preston, to kick things off, right? Okay, looking at you so far, you've got a fantastic physique. So what got you into fitness? Were you like a skinny kid before?
I was actually. In fact, I was skinny and then I was chubby. But all along, it was something that I wanted to do because I felt that it was a way to improve myself. So it started off as a way to improve myself from the outside and eventually became a whole transformation into the person I am today as well.
Wow.
Tell us the journey you took from being just someone who kept fit, kept healthy, to setting out and starting your own business, I think 9 years ago. It could be quite daunting to do that. So what was the motivation? What was the moment when you said, I need to do this?
Amazing. So that's a very good question, right? So I started off documenting my journey on social media. It was primarily just for myself. But little did I know that through the documentation process, I inspired a lot more people. I started to get more followers and all of that. And along the way, I was also dabbling in different kinds of businesses. I was running events, I was doing sales, but nothing really felt right until I decided to go all into health and fitness coaching. So I had my first client and then my next client, and gradually more and more people started to reach out and it became a whole business ever since. And I think that the whole experience has been very fulfilling. It's not so much about the money, it's not so much about the business world itself, but it's more so about the lives that actually transform. And working with driven entrepreneurs, business owners, executives, you can really see that there's a transformation that goes beyond them, but their families, their communities, and the people that they actually live with.
Right.
Yeah.
I've went through your social media account, and my goodness, it's so inspirational. It's hard to even ignore, right, the content you produce. So really good job on that. And I like the one thing that you kind of highlight to your followers as well, and the fact that, when it comes to, achieving a balance and holistic, or at least achieving health and success, you need to have like a balanced and holistic approach. So can you talk to us a little bit more about, what this means and how are they like interconnected?
Awesome, that's a great question, right? And I think that most people, when they look at health and fitness, they kind of look at it as 3 points in our year to get fit. Start of the year, middle of the year, summer body ready, maybe end of the year before the new year starts.
Yeah.
Right? And it's kind of having this kind of mindset that actually cripples them and slow them down from achieving a sustainable health and fitness. So health and fitness isn't so much of a destination, don't you agree?
Yeah.
Right? It's more so a journey, right? Think about it. We have only one body and it's going to carry us for the rest of our lives. So health and fitness isn't like a trend, it isn't like a phase, but it should be something that you actually continually work on.
Right.
You can have like a Ferrari mindset, you can have dreams and all that, but if your body cannot bring you there, then it's going to be quite a tough journey ahead. Yeah.
You heard that, Neil?
I did indeed. I'm paying attention to Preston. I am. But as you know, Preston, it's a saturated market. Lots of personal trainers out there, lots of physical instructors, lots of gymnasiums. What is it about the Press On project that makes you different or unique, would you say?
I love that. I think first and foremost, whether you're a business owner or fitness enthusiast or fitness business owner listening to this podcast, I'm in this radio, I think it's also important to understand that there's a market for everyone, abundance mentality. The market is big enough that you will attract the people that naturally gravitates towards you. So I think first and foremost, what we do differently over here is that we actually really work with you at where you're at right now in your life, whether is it the season of your life, whether is it the stage of your life, whether you're married, whether you have kids, whether you have a new business that you're scaling up. But ultimately, the people that I work with are guys who don't just want to look good naked, guys who don't need to look a certain way, but more so because they want to have that level of health and fitness that allows them to continue to do what they love doing. Whether is it creating more impact in the marketplace, whether is it to spend more time with their kids, whether is it to live a better life. So that's where we really come in to help them with a more customized, contextualized approach.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I really like that because it emphasizes on the fact that fitness is not just about looking good, but it's about feeling good and to be able to sustain for a long run, right? So, Preston, tell us a little bit more about the philosophy that Press On Project actually keep in mind, especially when you coach your clients.
Love it. So I think when I work with my clients, right, I actually work with them through a framework, what I call the STEPS lifestyle method. And I think it's super important to actually bring them through these phases. It's not so much about telling them exactly like, okay, you got to do this and just follow it, but it's more so about understanding where they're at, asking questions, listening to them. So that's what coaching is. Coaching isn't about telling you what to do and forcing you to do it, but to allow you to understand and really internalize these principles and philosophies so that you want to live in this new identity, becoming somebody who is healthy and fit, right? And I think that the philosophy behind it, where when it comes to health and fitness, is that most people think you got to really, no pain, no gain, push yourself to the limit, be exhausted at the end of the workout. But the truth is, most of us are pain adverse, right? We don't like to go towards pain. We like to run away from it. So it's really about going through these STEPS lifestyle method, the framework, the phases, so that you kind of ease into the whole process, right? So that you enjoy the process. Once there's enough momentum, then we can talk about taking it up to the next level. So consistency is most important, then you add intensity. But most people get it wrong. They get intensity first, and then they get burnt out.
Fantastic. We're chatting with Preston Sin, the founder of the Press On Project. I noticed that primarily you work with executives, entrepreneurs, high level, high net worth folks. Why is that? Apart from the obvious reason, they have more money, but why do you choose to focus on that market?
So it's not by choice per se, but it's more of like a serendipity. So when I started off as in my health and fitness journey, I was somebody who was very into personal development, and through the whole process, I actually get to connect with a lot of people who are like-minded as well. And these entrepreneurs, business owners became my friends, and it was through this process that they started to reach out for health and fitness coaching. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me give this a shot. And 9 years later, here we are. We have coached over 300, close to 1,000 people already right now over time.
How many?
Close to 300 personally, right? And close to 1,000 through
that's a very impressive number,
Yeah, and through the whole process as well, I also realized that when you have the same mindset, you're speaking about the same things, business mindset, growth mindset, you're able to connect on that level, and that actually makes the whole coaching process very seamless as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, like the fact that you've been coaching 300 over clients, I believe you kind of get an idea of why people often struggle with working out in the first place, right? So what have you heard on the ground in terms of why people often find excuses when it comes to working out?
Right. So it's kind of like tying into what I shared earlier, right? Like most people think you've got to really push yourself to the limit. And I think that when somebody signs up for a fitness class, a boot camp, or personal trainer even, they have this expectation that they need to make their money's worth, to go in there, sweat it all out. If you are not crawling out of the gym, it's not a good workout. And I think that's something that we have to stop thinking about and actually to take the slower approach. So like for an example, a client of mine who after 6 months of working with me has actually lost close to more than 15 kilos in just 6 months. But prior to that, he was doing things like following an app, a fitness app for months on end. He was in a class, a fitness class, group class for 6 months, but he didn't have any results. But it was through the whole process of coaching, easing him in the process, they actually kind of slowed down to move faster. In 6 months, he achieved more than he has actually had in years.
So it sounds like for you, customization is the key. You obviously take on a new client, look at their fitness, look at their diet, almost like the way a mechanic looks at a car, gives it a full breakdown, and then you do the service. Is that correct?
Exactly like that, right? And it's not so much about just looking at the technical aspects, but it's also to work with the client as a person, understand his lifestyle, understand his psychology, understand what goes on in his schedule even, right? So like for context, like this same guy who actually had to travel, there was no way he was going to do any kind of personal training. There was no way he's going to be hitting the gym regularly. So we did something that's so simple that he can do sustainably, such that when he comes back to Singapore, we can take it up a notch. So consistency is the most important. Then we add the intensity.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Wow, that's fantastic. I mean, can you talk to us a little bit about diets? Because I'm a bit of a foodie myself, right? And it's
When
hard
he
for me to
says
say.
foodie, he just eats everything. He's not
Yeah.
a connoisseur. He's more quantity.
That's true, though. But yeah, I tried, right? I honestly tried to kind of stick to a diet plan. I give it 1 week, man. I'm out. So, what do you say to people who think that dieting is the way to go when it comes to keeping fit all year round?
Right. So I think that all diets work,
Yeah.
right? And I think the most important thing that allows it to work is the ability for you to stick to it. And sometimes we don't need to romanticize what a diet looks like, in fact, right? A diet is just simply something you eat regularly. And I think the moment we give a name to that diet, it kind of feels like almost like a death sentence, right? You're in bondage right now.
Yes.
You got to do it for X amount of weeks. But what
Yeah.
happens after you fail on that diet? Oh, let's say no carb diet, and then you eat char kway teow. Then you go home, you feel guilty, and you're like, okay, tomorrow I'll try again.
Yeah.
And then what happens if you eat something else?
Yeah.
Then you go home feeling guilty again, and eventually, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to diet anymore.
Yeah.
So this happens all the time. But imagine if you just start doing something small, right? Just eat a little bit better, add more vegetables, maybe eat half the noodles.
Yeah.
There's so many different things that you can do. So instead of having a diet, why not adjust your lifestyle, right? And the truth is, I mean, we work so hard. As Singaporeans, we love food, right? I love
Right.
food.
Yeah.
At the end of the long day, you just want to eat something nice to treat yourself. And when you actually go on a diet, it actually forces you to stop doing that. And when you stop doing that, you then want to act out, right? You kind of binge after that.
Do you think that's why Singaporeans are so angry all the time?
Wow.
He gets deep. He gets deep.
Super.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think more importantly, just think of it from a lifestyle perspective.
Yeah.
What feels right for you, what looks right for you, and what does well for your health and the ability to perform your day to day.
Right.
So you don't have to plaster a label on it.
That's fabulous. Well, I've loved all of that. And as always, Preston, we never let our guests go in this segment without giving them the Super 6 fitness tidbits.
Yep.
Are you ready for this?
Let's go.
It's a quick one, yeah? So
So quick
this is
one,
like quick
hard
one.
and fast
Yeah.
answers. We'll
Okay.
ask one each, back and forth.
Off the top of your head.
Super 6 fitness tidbits. Here we go with Preston Sin. Number 1, Dan. Off you go.
What's your typical weekly gym routine look like?
All right. So 4-day routine, push pull. So upper and lower, 4 times a week. Yeah.
Almost the same as mine, actually.
Yeah, I tried to do something similar, but yeah, very good. All right, number 2. What's your favourite healthy meal and why?
Healthy meal. Oh wow.
Carrot cake.
I can't seem to figure out why I'm thinking of acai, but I don't even eat that often.
Okay.
But healthy meal, I actually don't really eat like salads and stuff.
Okay.
But
That's actually reassuring for me and our listeners.
okay,
Yeah.
but top of my mind, spinach soup.
Oh, that's nice. All right.
I love spinach.
I take that. What's your favorite workout or exercise?
Okay, so at this moment, I really love training my back. So I
Oh.
do a seated row, cable seated row.
Nice.
Nice. This is personally my favourite question. Gym etiquette. What is the one thing that gym users do that they shouldn't?
That they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Or one thing
The
you
one
wish-
that bugs you.
Yeah, the one thing you wish they'd do better.
Yeah.
They should learn to share.
Yes.
He's got a lot of experience.
Example? What do you mean? What do you mean? Give us an
So
example.
I think that the gym is where everyone goes to better themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that if it's a public gym, it's not your gym. I think it's so important to have that sense of camaraderie, to support each other, and just sharing that equipment for an extra 2 minutes is not going to hurt your gains.
That's
In fact, if you rest a bit more, it can be more beneficial because you can push a bit harder.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think most people shouldn't be doing like 30-second rest anyway if they want to get more gains and want to be healthy and fit and stronger.
Yeah.
So sharing could be helping you, in fact.
Do you know
Oh,
that actually
exciting.
happened to me
Yeah.
today?
Again?
And it was just me and one other person in the gym, but
Yeah.
we both wanted the same machine, just a basic tricep pull down.
Yeah.
So he would do one, then walk around the gym, check his phone, come back, do another one. And
Yeah.
I said to him at one point, "Can I jump in while you walk around?" He said, "I'm not finished yet. I'm not finished yet."
Oh, did he say
so
that?
he did one pull
Yeah.
down, then one big walk, one pull
Literally
down.
one rep and
yeah,
he walked.
and then
Oh,
walk, like, I
man.
mean, like 10 reps, but then
Yeah.
one set, then
Okay,
walk
okay,
around.
yeah.
We could have shared.
Yeah.
We could have in and
While
out.
he was
in and
walking,
out.
right? It would have been done, in fact, before he even got back.
I'm with you, man. Okay,
All
next.
right. Okay, next question. What's your number one health and fitness tip?
Treat health and fitness like a lifestyle. It shouldn't be something that you do as a phase or period of your life. It should be something that you continue to work on. It's kind of like a relationship with yourself.
I like this one. I really like this one. Yeah.
And last question, Preston. What motivates you to stay on your fitness journey?
I think looking beyond myself, it's really about the lives that I get to inspire and touch. Whether is it from clients to audiences that follows me and supports me. I think it's about continuing sharing my story and continuing to better myself so that everybody works to be the best versions of themselves.
Fantastic. Preston, it's been such an inspiring story today. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. If our listeners would like to find out more about you, where can they search or what can they search for?
They can go over to my website, PrestonSin.com.
Okay.
All right, or they can head over to my socials. Everything is Press on Preston.
Fantastic. All right, you heard it here yourself. Customize your workout and make it sustainable. And that's all we have for this week's episode of Thank Fitness. It's Friday.
Money FM 89.3.